Roll Tide! Roll Tide Roll! Welcome to the Alabama Crimson Tide Football Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brett Mason and Jamie Thomas.
Nice and comfy, enjoying the supercells of storms that pass over southeast Alabama all weekend long. I am Brett Mason, along with my co-host Jamie Thomas. Hello, sir. How are you, War Eagle?
Roll Tide, buddy. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Why couldn't a storm have rolled through when all them people kept coming to my door wanting candy? That's my question.
Did you hand out candy or did you poke them away with sticks?
Let me tell you what I do every Halloween, and this is going to sound horrible. I turn all the lights off in the house. I make sure it's completely dark. I go to my bedroom, which is all blacked in, so no light gets out because the windows are blacked in. Close the door, turn my TV on just loud enough that I can hear it, and I watch TV till it's over. I ain't giving these people no candy.
That stuff's too valuable, isn't it?
Yeah, if I had candy, I'd be eating it myself. Are you kidding me? You got through the bye week. There was some good football to watch. You didn't get to watch your team. I don't know if you watched anything. With some good games, though, man. How about
Oklahoma State, Texas Tech? That was a good one. Clemson, North Carolina State was a good one. Notre Dame.
I thought it would be, yeah.
Yeah. Notre Dame Temple was an exciting football game. I mean.
Then you had the Miami 27 laterals for the score.
By the way, that officiating crew has been suspended for 2 games now.
And they should be.
Yeah, apparently Duke got hosed.
Like, what is going on there? Anyway, it was a crazy weekend. But you boys from Bama will be back on the field this weekend, and I know you're excited about it because you're in the push. It's time to start making the case for the playoff, and it starts this weekend. How you feeling about it?
This is the first playoff game. If Bama beats LSU, wins out, then they've definitely made their case. But you know what? There's a lot of football left. They've still got Mississippi State. They've still got Auburn. Ole Miss has still got to lose a football game. And there's a lot of good undefeated teams ahead of Bama right now. So, we're possibly looking at potentially an SEC champion not getting into the playoffs this year if Ole Miss wins out, makes it to the title game. You've still got right now Baylor, TCU, Clemson. Who else is undefeated? Oklahoma State. Several very good undefeated teams. Ohio State, Michigan State. Some of those are gonna work themselves out because they play each other.
About half of them, I think. But it's way more undefeated than we had this time last year.
A lot more undefeated, and it's going to get crazy because Oklahoma State still got to play Oklahoma. That's always a big time football game when those two teams are playing well. Oklahoma's playing really solid lately. Baylor and TCU, those guys got to play each other. Ohio State still got to play Michigan State, and the winner of that game still got to play the undefeated Iowa Hawkeyes, who haven't really played anybody, but they're still there. Clemson's still out there. I think they got Florida State this weekend. A lot of good football left to be played. A lot of things still got to happen for Bama to make it. But hey, we've been in this situation before. Back in the BCS era, there were a couple of years where Bama, had to have help from other teams in order to get in. So, we're not counting it out, but it's one game at a time, and Bama's got to take care of business against LSU this weekend.
What a testament it is to both of those teams, too. Look, I have a love-hate relationship with Alabama, obviously. But I do appreciate them, and I'm a much different towards Bama than I was 5 years ago. I like watching them play, and I pretty much pull for them unless they're playing Auburn. And pretty much the same with LSU, man. I have an immense amount of respect for what they do over there because how do you manage to be that consistent year in and year out? It's something Auburn fans wish we could get a little taste of, I'll just be honest. What a testament. Once again, the Alabama-LSU game, just huge implications, man. It seems like it's that way every year.
Yeah, it has been for the last several years. Of course, last year LSU was down a little bit, so not the same meaning of the football game. But, it's been, for how many years now? It's been this primetime CBS game. It's the one game per year that CBS decides to take into the 7 o'clock. Huge. It's in Tuscaloosa. Like you said, all kinds of title implications on the line. Of course, if LSU wins, then they're obviously going to be the favorite to win out and go on and play in the SEC championship. Bama wins, man. It's I can't tell you. You said excited. I'm nervous about this one.
Oh, you should be nervous. It's going to be a good game, but yeah, I mean, of course you're going to be nervous. I tell you, it's going to be it's interesting because it's old school. It's very old school, smash mouth, running football is what you got, and it's a head-to-head matchup. I think LSU is ranked 6th against the run, which is going to mean Derrick Henry's going to have to tote the load, or either your boy Coker is going to have to figure out a way to beat him through the air. I think Henry can do it. What a beast, man. You see that video of him squatting 500 pounds? Good.
Yeah. Dude's in a different level right now than most other running backs. I mean, this is, like you said, it's going to be good smash mouth football. It's going to come down to who controls the line of scrimmage on both sides. Is the Alabama defensive line more physical than the LSU offensive line? Ken Ragland and Lee and all those guys, can they come up and make the stop, get Fournette, keep him from hitting the outside edge? I think if they can contain him and force him to run up the middle and let the linebackers or the defensive line do the job that they're supposed to do, I think they can shut Leonard Fournette down. Not saying he's not going to have a 100-yard game, but I don't think he's going to get 200 against Bama. I don't think he will even get 150 against Bama. But the key is definitely going to be the offensive line versus defensive line on both sides of the football. Who's going to dominate that line of scrimmage?
I was reading something yesterday. It looks like their fullback Moore is going to be back for this, which is a big part of what Fournette does. He definitely is a lot better with that guy on the field.
Yeah,
it would have sure helped out your cause a little bit if he'd managed to stay off the field.
We don't want any excuses. No excuse. We want him to be 100% healthy. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. If you like the old school football, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I'm guessing that I'll be right about this, but we'll see what you say. I think your biggest question in the line of scrimmage matchup that you just mentioned is the Alabama offense. Would I be wrong about that?
No, you're absolutely right. They have been very inconsistent over the last couple of weeks. They've been getting beat off the ball, especially on the pass rush. If Bama is forced to throw the football, if for some reason LSU is able to shut down Derrick Henry and Jake Coker is forced to put this ball in the air, that's going to be trouble because those edges have been tough to defend for our tackles. The center's been playing well, the guard's been playing well, but our tackles have really struggled with defending that outside rush. That's a very, very big factor in the game.
You got to feel a little bit better, maybe even more than a little bit better, if the game comes down to you needing a field goal than you did 5 games ago.
Not at all.
Not at all?
No.
I think the kid's proven he's a little bit more consistent than what we all thought 5 games ago.
No, he still scares me every time he walks onto the field.
Let me ask you this. The game is on the line, and it's 4th and let's say it's 4th and 2, 4th and 3, and you're on the LSU 15-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
You want Bama to go for it, or are you going to bring this kid in to kick for the win?
How much time is left?
36 seconds.
What would I do, or what do I think Saban's going to do?
No, what would you, the fan sitting there with sucking the seat of your recliner up inside you, you're so tense. What is it you want? What call do you want Saban to make?
I'd run Derrick Henry off tackle.
Yeah.
Yep. No doubt about it.
Live or die by what you're good at.
Yep. I put Bo Scarborough in the backfield to play fullback. Line OJ back there as a blocker. Also, almost run like an offset wishbone or an offset eye, and then I would run him right off the tackle. Put it in the hands of the man who's gotten us here, and that's Derrick Henry.
I tell you, me and you think a lot alike about stuff like that. Because I tell you, no matter what, I think you'd be second guessed if you lost in that manner. But I agree with you. I think it'd be the right call. Whatever you're best at, that's what you need to do there. Win or lose, you got to say, what are we best at doing? Let's do the thing that we do best and just accept it, win or lose.
But we know Saban's not going to do that. Saban's going to put the kicker on the field and is going to put it on, in the hands of the kicker. And that's probably the right play. It's the safe play. But I'm telling you, man, it just it makes me cringe every time I see him. Every time I see CBS pan over to him, warming up to go out and kick a field goal, I almost leave the room.
Jamie wants to go for 2-point conversions after every
Look, hey, Lane Kiffin did it when he was at Southern Cal. He did it when he was at Tennessee. Let's just go for 2 every time.
That's hilarious.
Hey, if they ever move the extra point back to the 25 like they do in the NFL now, we're screwed.
All right, let's talk about let's move on and look ahead to next year. We've got the schedules are nailed down for next year, and interesting again, pretty good matchup. I think it'll definitely be highlighted a lot. You're back at AT&T Stadium in Texas again with USC to open up. That's an interesting way to open the season.
That is an interesting way. I was really hoping when they announced that game that was going to be a home and away. I'm not a huge fan of the neutral site games. I do like seeing Bama put on the white and go into the big time stadiums and upset somebody. But either way, I think this is going to be a pretty dang good football game. I think we're going to see USC improve through the rest of this year now that Sarkisian is out. And they're a traditional powerhouse football team. So that's going to be a big time matchup next year.
Yeah, you're catching them off some bad times. I don't think it'll be a problem, but we'll see. Anyway, it's a marquee matchup, and it makes the beginning of the season fun.
You're talking about next year, though. I mean, you've got, again, another quarterback controversy for Alabama. Because we don't know who the starter is going to be. We've got the freshman Blake Barnett. You got Cooper Bateman. You still got Alec Morris. So, I mean, Bama's going to have, starting next year, going to have some of the same problems they did at the beginning of this year, and that's finding who's going to be the signal caller.
I tell you, if love isn't the right word, I think you really at least have to like the first half of your season, though, because after that, thank God you get the Hilltoppers at home, because I don't know if you'll be able to pull that one off or not on the road. But then you get a tough game at Ole Miss. I mean, that could be tough. Is at least an SEC game, but then I think it just depends on what happens with Arkansas and stuff. But you got Kent State again after that. It's kind of like you got good game, off game, good game, off game.
Yeah.
For a little while there until you get in the meat of the season. So I think your opening half looks manageable. Not saying it's easy, but it looks manageable. And then you got the slaughterhouse at the end again, depending on what Tennessee looks like next year, depending on what the Aggies look like next year. LSU again, and then of course wrapping up with the Iron Bowl. I don't know if you've looked this over or not. You comparing this season to next season.
Oh, it's much better schedule as far as not having to run that 4 or 5 game gauntlet like we did this year.
Yeah, and I tell you, and Auburn's had to go through that the past couple of years too, and I don't think people, especially outside the SEC, I don't think they realize what a toll that takes on your team when you have to play 3-4 tough SEC teams back to back. It starts to really, it's a grind, man. You need a break somewhere.
I will say this as a fan, I don't like the Western Kentucky game and the Kent State game. I understand you got to play 1 or 2 of those games a year, but really Bama's got 3. Western Kentucky, Kent State in the first half, and then Chattanooga the week before Auburn. I mean, really, why even play that game against Chattanooga? I understand you got to have the 12th game, but if you're going to play Chattanooga then, let's add somebody, on the front end of the schedule that gives us a little more credibility. Yeah, we're opening with USC, but, why not, I don't know, why not add, Georgia Tech or, Texas or just somebody like that maybe not quite as good as they used to be, but still brings a little bit of reputation to the field.
Why not, man? Come on, you know the answer to that. You don't want to get upset third game of the season by somebody you're supposed to beat. Come on.
Like I said, as a fan, though, you want to see those games. You want to see some marquee games. And it'd be nice to see some of those older rivalries like Tech or even Southern Miss. You know, Southern Miss is, you know, up and coming again. They're going to be a lot better next year. I would like to see that semi-rivalry renewed.
I know you don't make predictions, but are you feeling confident that Alabama's got this LSU game?
Not really. Not really. No.
I got a prediction, and you ain't going to like me, and but I'm going to go ahead and make it. Les Miles is going to win this in the fourth quarter on some kind of trick play, and it's going to be one of those that causes all the photos of Alabama fans in shock to be shown on all the websites on Sunday.
Yeah, if that happens, you're probably not going to hear from me for a little while.
Come on, we got to do a show, man.
I don't know, man. No promises. Number one, I'm going to hate you for making that prediction. And number two, well, just sleep with one eye open, buddy.
You know how this works. As an Auburn fan, once my season goes down the schedule and it's sunk like a big floater going down the toilet, my joy then becomes in watching Alabama in anguish.
You just said 10 minutes ago that you like to see you pull for Alabama when they're not playing Auburn.
I'm pulling for them, man. I'm pulling for
you're
them.
Not. You're such a liar. You're such a liar.
Not. I want them to go all the way. I really do. I want them to make it to the playoffs. I really do. Honestly, I do. But I'll tell you this. If they got beat in some kind of weird fashion, I'd be really torn, but I probably would be like, I don't know what I'd be, man. I'm pulling for them to win, though.
I don't believe you.
All right. Well, provided how the game goes, we'll have a show next week. If not, I'll talk to you. And at least you're going to talk to me by the Iron Bowl, right?
Maybe.
All right. We'll do it then, man. Have a good one, War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
Thanks for listening. Download our free iOS app. Just search for Tigers and Tide in the App Store. And subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Just search for Tigers and Tide. And for the latest SEC news, log on to southeasternfootball.com.